Hey YouTube, I'm outside Bricktown train station today because in this video we're reviewing this train station mock. Hey guys, and welcome to Brick Talk TV. Terry here, and in this review we'll be looking at another designer's train station mock, namely Lego Wolf. This train station has been in my city for a while, and this was the first Lego build that I did that wasn't actually produced by Lego themselves. This idea was submitted to the Lego's designers program, where it did receive 10,000 votes, but it didn't get picked by the judges. The designer though has gratefully made their design file free of charge to download, which is where I grabbed it from. A link to the Lego ideas entry can be found in the description below, along with the link to the designer's Flickr account where you can download the file directly and generate your own instructions. So let's look at this design. Sitting on a 32 by 32 standard base plate, it has an extra 8 by 16 base plate at the rear, which I haven't actually got connected, but that's to connect the train track to the actual station itself. It's over 3,000 pieces, and I think that this architecture looks stunning against any cityscape that I have. The front is impressive with stained glass windows. You've got a raised step entrance and a clock face, and then you've got the brick facade at the front as well. So I'm planning now to walk through each level in detail as we normally do, and I'll describe some of the internal detail as well as some of the external detail, and then we'll summarise at the end. So let's flip over now and take a look at the detail. So this model actually breaks down quite unusually from usual standard mocks where you normally have the tiered levels as you break down. This one actually breaks down into just the three parts. So you have the main roof that sits on top, which I've taken off, and then you have half of the back section that comes off as well, which I'll show you in a second review. So the majority of this review is going to be around what's left, which is this area here. So you can see at the front, as I've mentioned already, we've got the standard 32 base plate at the front, so it's a standard width as other modulars are, so it'll fit right in next to all your other standard Lego modulars. You've got the mandatory lamppost situated here. You've got the nice detail of a cycle rack as well. For those that are visiting the station and run into the train, they can leave their cycles safely locked up while they go to work. You've got some interesting lamps out the front here, but then you've got this nice centrepiece of a raised staircase with some lovely flowers detail in the middle here. I've actually added a Metro newspaper tile here, which was bought separately and wasn't actually part of the design, and I'll stick a link in the description below where you can actually pick up that tile if you're interested to add that in. The designer does also include some stickers that you can download on their Flickr account, and you can print them off. The main one is there's a notice board here where you normally stick the sticker on about some notices, but I haven't actually decided to do that. I've just left it blank for now. And then you have some doors here, which is the main entrance into the train station. As we move up the top, you've got some interesting detail here. So the word station is actually printed out using plates and a build technique there, so that's quite nice. Then you've got some arched windows, got some lovely detail with some toads being used here as gargoyles. You then have a lovely clock face, which has a statue above it, which is guiding light, and then you've got these nice owls that sit across the top as well. I kind of use this technique with the owls in my church mock. I've got a review of a separate video for that, and I'll stick a card up here so you can take a look at how I use that as well if you're interested. And then throughout this you've got some masonry bricks and some texture with some tiles that are put on top here. So really the main detail now in terms of the internal detail is around the back. So I'm just going to rotate this round now so you can see what's going on at the back. So here you can see it's actually opened up. As I said, I've taken the roof off and the next level down. You've got the standard platform here, which is raised, so it's roughly the right height for my Horizon Express train that I've got running around my city. Of course, it's not long enough to fit the full length of the train in, which obviously is a restriction on the 32 by 32 base plate. You could modify this, of course, and you could have a further platform either extended around the back if you're going around behind other modulars, or you could have one opposite if you have enough room, and you could build some bridges that go across, which would work quite nicely. The two main areas here, there's a ticket booth here where you can buy your tickets, and I've actually got a minifigure in here. The designer actually doesn't suggest any minifigures, so I decided to scour bricklink.com and some other websites and find some suitable train staff. So we've got a train railway guy sitting in there selling tickets, and in there you've got a desk with a clock and a till, so he can sell his tickets, and it's in a glassed area. So internally you can buy tickets here, and there's also some windows on the external here as well, so people can see out. You've also got a clock face here, which is handy when you're on the platform waiting for your train, so you can see the what time it currently is. You've got a nice bench here as well, so you can sit and wait for your train. Then in the middle you'll notice that there's some barriers, so these are the ticket barriers you need to get through once you've got your ticket to access the train station platform. And then on this side you've got a confectionery or eatery kind of place here. The inside is actually towards ice creams and pretzels, I believe, as you've got some, looks like either sauce or drink dispensing machine in there. You've got a couple of items for food, some drinks. I've put an operative in there to sell the food, and you've also got some croissant details here to signify that you can get some cakes and things like that, or maybe coffee if you're running for a train. And then you have this nice awning which just covers the actual access to purchase your items. So you can purchase them from a window on this side on the platform, or internally inside the station you can also purchase them through a window there. Then up here, this would be another sticker normally that you'd stick on, which I haven't stuck on or printed off, which is just the train line logo. Then as you move into the main ticket hall area here, you've got a nice bench or seating area you can sit at or place your minifigures. And then this red item here is depicting some luggage. So it's on a trolley and it's waiting to be pushed through for the arriving train. There are some doors as you go further along to access the two rooms you've got here for the ticket room and for the food eatery place. And then in the far corners either side there are two toilets that have some small level of detail inside. They're not very wide because you haven't got much room, but there's just enough width to stick a door on and a toilet inside of both the rooms, so it's a male and female. Then there's some dispensing things, so an information leaflet type dispenser, some magazine racks either side of the toilets. Then as you move up through this part of the detail, these should actually have letters on, so this would actually be the announcements for the train destinations and the times. Again, I didn't purchase either the lettered tiles or put stickers on these. I've left these blank, and I probably will get round to sticking some destinations. I think the designer himself has put this around a European type station, so he had destinations such as Milan and Paris and London on there with some train times. So you can see those in the designs and the photos that he's got on his Flickr account, so check them out if you want to mimic what he's done. Then you can see there's some grand lights either side flanking both the walls, which just light up the ticket hall area. You've got another clock face in the middle, which you'd probably expect to see either side of the train time, so you can check how long you've got to run to the train that's arriving. There's actually a palm leaf here in the background, which gives it just a bit more detail to show from a distance. It looks quite effective. And then this is all clear, transparent bricks. So you've got a massive window here, which you typically see in European train stations, which lets loads of light come in to fill up the ticket hall area. And then you can see the rear detail of the owls at the top as well. I do like the way the designers put some different coloured plates into this design, just to give it some extra texture and interest in the detail of the bricks. I think the colour choice is pretty good in terms of this standard tan colour. Kind of depicts it very well. I kind of think of this as maybe an Italian or French style train station when I'm sticking it inside my city. So that's the majority of the detail in here. I'll run through now the section that you pull out, but what I'll do is I'll talk about it with it stuck onto this, so you can see how it adds and fits into the overall piece, and then I'll also show it to you how it looks on its own when it's broken apart. Right, so this is the bit with the rear now stuck on, and you can see it's only filled up the small gap that was left at the rear, but it does add a lot more detail above the actual platform area. So here you've got some more arched windows, you've got the addition of some transparent bricks again to let some light into the ticket hall with some arched windows, and then they've got some nice architectural details. So you've got some reddish brown flowers here which are themed out throughout the build. You have these as some architectural detail, and then a nice arch here just to give it some consistency with these smaller arches. Then on the inside here if I take this off, you can see how it detaches from the main build. Inside here, you've again got the replicas of the lights flanking either wall, which is the same as you can see in this part of the building. And then you can see the internal detail of the arches sat there as well. And that's all that second piece is. You've also got some more gargoyles sat on there as well. So what I'll do is I'll just replace this, and then I'll stick the final piece on and just talk you through the roof piece. So this is now with the roof piece on. You can see it kind of overhangs the platform a little bit just to give the minifigures some shelter if they're waiting for the train to come in. And then I like the way that the designers actually used the garage doors for some clear glass windows above. This is a similar technique to the one that was used in the town hall modular that Lego produced as well, or I also recreated that in my courthouse mock, and again I'll stick a card up here for the review I did of my courthouse so you can see how I also use a similar technique for that. But this is great because this is the kind of thing you'd see in a European train station. You'd see vast glass type roofs going over the top, kind of a Victorian style, just to let some light in and to show some flair with use of glass. And then you've got this nice detailed arch bricks here just to give it some architectural detail. And so this actually just comes off here, so it's not a huge roof. And then there's no real internal detail there apart from it's being arched over, and that's how it looks separate. So that's it. Now we'll just do a quick summary. So overall I really like this model, and I'm pleased I got the chance to build it and put it in my city. I also like the fact that you can get the instructions for free, so the designer was good enough, even though they didn't get a qualification from Lego to build it and release it as a set, that they've made it available for you to download for free. Bear in mind when you get the, it's an LDD file, so it's a Lego digital designer file, that the designer I don't think actually went through and put steps in. So you are just going to get the full dump of the model fully constructed. It's not been finessed enough to actually show you some clear stages to walk through. So you may battle a little bit with the file, but you'll get a 3D rendering and you'll be able to see where all the parts go and build through it. So it's very worthwhile downloading, especially as it's free, and you can have a look at the construction detail for that. So I'd really recommend doing that, and hopefully you'll get a chance to build it for your own city as well, and it fits in lovely with my cityscape next to my other modular buildings, and gives a place for my Horizon Express to stop as it whizzes around my brick town. So I hope you enjoyed the walkthrough today. If you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Check the description out to links to the files and further photos of the model by the designer as well, as I've mentioned. And until next time, stay safe and I'll see you then.